All right, let's dive into this AddressFull thing.
That's good.
It's this platform that says it's going to solve the whole keeping your contact info updated everywhere problem.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who hasn't struggled with that, right?
Ugh, it's the worst.
We've got a ton of sources for this deep dive.
Oh, cool.
Marketing materials, technical breakdowns, even some App Store reviews.
Wow, the whole 9 yards.
We're going to see if AddressFull really lives up to the hype.
Yeah, for sure.
What really caught my eye is this whole idea of controlling your own data.
Yeah, that's a big one these days.
But how does this thing actually work?
Well, it's actually pretty simple.
Okay.
You download the app.
Right.
You create a profile. But here's the thing. All that info stays on your device.
Oh, okay. So it's not going up to like a big server or something.
Exactly. No storing your data on their servers.
Okay. Privacy point number 1. I like it.
Then the app creates a unique identifier based on your mobile number.
Okay.
And that's how organizations can request your info.
So no more like a million usernames and passwords to remember.
Yup. You got it.
All right. That's a win already in my book.
And the best part is you get to approve or deny every single request.
Okay. So I'm always in control.
Always.
This is sounding pretty good so far, but what happens when I do approve a request?
Well, when you give the thumbs up, AddressFull encrypts your data and sends it straight to the organization's CRM system.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Through an API.
So it's like I typed it in myself, but more secure.
Exactly.
So AddressFull is just the messenger, not like this big data hoarder.
Precisely.
Okay. And get this, they use blockchain technology to record every transaction.
Oh, wow.
So what data was shared, it's all there.
Yep. Permanently tamper-proof.
Hold on, blockchain, like cryptocurrency blockchain.
The very same.
Huh, interesting.
This means there's an unchangeable record of everything.
I see.
It really builds trust, especially with all the data privacy worries these days.
Yeah, no kidding. Everyone's worried about that stuff these days.
For sure.
Okay, so the security side of things is starting to make sense, but what's in it for me?
Well, think about the last time you moved. Having to update your address with every single company.
It's like a never-ending list.
Right. Banks, utilities, online stores.
It took me weeks to dig out all those accounts.
Exactly. And with AddressFull, you just update it once in the app.
Oh, wow.
One click, it's shared with everyone you've approved.
So no more endless forms or phone calls?
Nope.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal here, but it can't all be perfect, right?
Well, some people might be hesitant to rely on just one app.
Yeah, I get that putting all your eggs in one basket and all.
But think about one of the sources we looked at said that something like X% of customer data becomes outdated every year.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's huge, which means companies are working with inaccurate info.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem.
Mistakes, miscommunication.
Yeah, and who knows what else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So AddressFull is trying to combat that data decay.
Right. Make sure everyone has the right info.
Exactly. And for companies, it's a big deal.
Oh, yeah. Less headache for them.
Accurate data, happier customers.
So potentially happier individuals and happier organizations.
That's the idea.
But let's be real, security is still a huge concern.
For sure.
How can I be sure my data is actually safe with all these different places?
Well, that's where their approach to encryption gets really interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
They use end-to-end encryption. So your data is scrambled during transmission.
Oh, so even if someone got their hands on it, it would just look like gibberish.
Exactly. And they don't even keep the keys to unlock that encryption on their servers.
Whoa, so I'm the only one with access.
You got it.
Wow, they really thought this through.
It seems like it.
It sounds like they've combined a bunch of different security measures.
Yeah, to protect your data every step of the way.
But what about the companies using this?
Like, who would actually benefit from it?
Yeah.
Well, think about industries where accurate contact information is super important.
Like what?
They talk about real estate in the materials we reviewed.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Agents need to be able to reach their clients.
Right, throughout the whole buying or selling process?
Exactly, with AddressFull. If a client moves, their new address is automatically updated.
Oh, so no more chasing people down.
Nope.
That's pretty slick.
And I bet it would be super valuable for law firms or financial institutions.
Oh, yeah, dealing with all that sensitive data.
Exactly, things like wills, conveyancing, insurance policies.
Right, where having the wrong contact info could be disastrous.
No kidding. Imagine an inheritance going to the wrong person because of an old address.
Oh, man, that's a nightmare.
Right. So they really emphasize accuracy.
They do, and they keep bringing up this idea of using mobile numbers as unique identifiers.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that.
What do you think?
It's an interesting approach,
I mean, in a world where names can be spelled a million different ways.
especially across different cultures.
Right. Phone numbers are pretty universal.
It's true.
So it's not just about convenience, it's about accuracy from the get-go.
Exactly. No more trying to decipher bad handwriting.
Or guessing how to spell someone's name.
They even gave an example, the name Catherine.
Oh, yeah. How many ways can you spell that?
Like 10 different ways at least.
Wow.
Imagine the chaos in a database.
Yeah, that's asking for trouble.
So by using mobile numbers, they're trying to eliminate those errors right away.
Okay, that's clever. But what happens if someone changes their phone number?
That's a great question. You can easily update your number in the app.
Yeah.
And then that change is reflected in all the organizations you've authorized.
So it's just like updating any other piece of information in your profile.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But, thinking about the bigger picture, this whole user-controlled data thing,
Right.
it's pretty different from how things usually work.
It is. It's a big change.
I mean, most companies just take our data without even asking.
Yeah, it's true. We're used to just handing it over.
Right, without a second thought.
And AddressFull is challenging that.
Yeah, putting users in the driver's seat.
Exactly.
So the security of that app is really important.
Absolutely strong passwords, two-factor authentication.
All the good stuff.
All of it.
But you mentioned before that AddressFull doesn't actually store user data on their servers.
Right.
So where does the data go when it's shared?
It's kind of like a relay system.
Okay.
When you approve a request, AddressFull acts as a conduit, sends your encrypted info straight to the organization's CRM.
Okay. Through their API.
Exactly, like a direct secure line.
So AddressFull just makes the introduction and then steps back.
Exactly. They facilitate the sharing, but they don't hold on to your data.
Okay, but what if AddressFull were to just disappear?
That's a good question.
Would those organizations still have the data?
They would, because the transfer happens instantly.
Oh, like it was manually entered?
Exactly.
So even if AddressFull vanished...
The organization still has the data.
Okay, so it's a one-time transfer.
That's right.
AddressFull isn't holding onto my data forever.
Nope. But remember, they're using blockchain to record everything.
Right, the blockchain that keeps coming up.
It's like an insurance policy.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Every data sharing event is logged on this immutable ledger.
So it can't be tampered with.
Exactly. It's permanent auditable.
Okay, so even though they don't store the data...
There's still a record of what was shared when and with whom.
Okay, so we've talked about the blockchain for trust and accountability.
Right.
But let's dig into the encryption a little more.
Yeah.
You keep mentioning end-to-end encryption, but what does that actually mean?
So imagine you're sending a letter.
Okay.
But you want to make sure only the recipient can read it.
Right.
So you put it in a locked box.
Okay.
And only the recipient has the key.
So even if someone intercepts the package, they can't see what's inside.
Exactly. And with AddressFull, the keys are stored on your device.
Not on their servers.
Right. So you have complete control.
It sounds like they've really gone the extra mile to protect those keys.
They definitely have.
But the blockchain adds another layer of complexity.
It does.
How does that work with the security?
Well, think of the blockchain as a digital ledger
Okay.
spread across multiple computers. Every transaction is recorded in a way that's basically impossible to change.
Wow.
It's like a public record of everything.
But cryptographically sealed.
Exactly.
So it's not just about protecting the data in transit.
Right.
It's about having a record of where it's been.
A trail that can be audited.
It almost feels like this makes it harder for companies to misuse our data
I see what you mean.
because everything is out in the open.
That's one way to look at it.
It's a really fascinating approach,
It is.
but it makes you wonder if this model could become the new standard.
For handling personal information online,
Yeah. Could we see this applied to other types of data too?
like medical records or financial data.
Exactly. Even our online identities.
That's a big question.
Right.
Could we imagine a future where all that is managed this way?
Where individuals have more control and transparency.
It's a pretty radical idea.
But after looking at AddressFull,
This seems so impossible.
that's true. It's been a really interesting journey.
It has.
I encourage all of you listening to keep digging deep, keep asking questions.
And keep pushing for a data landscape that puts individuals in control.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.